choice. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot, pal. Got to get that on there, right? How could we have forgotten? We don't have
there
one.
Are too many.
We don't have one Larry Kingism.
Loan me $50.
Right. Loan me $50 King. Got it. I don't think we need any other ones. That's his.
That's it. That's the
trademark.
Loan me $50.
I mean, we could put.
There are many,
but
and I know how to do talk show. All those.
I don't know how to do a talk show.
I know how to do a talk show.
Oh, that one.
Misa horny.
Well, what are you, some kind of sex machine here?
I've been doing this a long time. Hi, this is Larry King, and they don't come any better than Neil Rogers. What was your first break?
I went to work and knocked on doors and got a job at a small radio station in Miami Beach, Florida. I did everything. I did the board, I did jock, I did sports, I did news, I did everything. Cleaned up, I did everything.
One of my favorites.
Neil Rogers got.
No, not that one.
I don't have a bald spot.
Yeah. And we could play the whole bald spot call, but not right this moment. So there you go. Let's just put the loan me $50. How could we have forgotten Larry? Larry. He's still there. WQAM, hello.
Yes, I'd like to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Oh, hey, Neil. I just wanted to, how about, yo, let's rate Mo.
Oh, I love it. Excellent choice.
And can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous.
But nevertheless.
Is there any way we can get, because my brother doesn't have a credit card to buy your Mobits. Is there any store that you can get them?
No.
No?
He can, however, go to appearances. We usually keep some with us.
That's right. You can go to one of George's appearances or, and one of those deals and maybe Treasure Island. How old's your brother?
He's 18.
Oh, he's perfect for Treasure Island, and maybe he'll get lucky there, too. But anyway, he can go to one of the appearances and pick one up there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, bye.
How could we have forgotten?
Yo, let's rate Mo.
Yeah. Let's get that on there, right?
Right.
What are we going to put? Just yo, let's rate Mo?
Yo, let's rate Mo.
Excellent. Good choice. Thank you.
The Oz rape song, but I don't think they'll recognize it as that.
No, they will not. 5670560, pound 560. We got a growing list. It's spectacular, man. Never did I realize. And, of course, wouldn't you know, on a day, we do have 309 votes. Now, when did we start this? About 9:45?
Okay.
About 30, man.
It's been a blur today. I have no idea.
I don't either. I'm amazed that we're still on the air at this point. Oh, we're not? What's your favorite expression or product you got from the Neil Rogers Show? Absolutely correct, sir. 53.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And by the way, how did you like that little montage I did there? I thought that was pretty impressive. I thought that was very impressive. About 30 man's got 45.
About 30, man.
No Fags in the Church, 23. Mandage Keychain, 22. I'm Dying Over Here is tied with it puts the lotion in a basket, 21. It's tough to separate those. Reverend Jones, you're gay, 18. See, this one, I don't want to say it because I can't do it justice. For justice, we must go to that one. Nobody can say it like that. 17. Rectum, Mitch Lewis's Rectum. He's got 14 votes. It was pretty big. Fish Food, 13. Oi, which is also Mitch Lewis, I should point out, has got 10. Eisner's got 10. Has got 8. That's the American Effing Way, has got 7. All of these things, 5. Oh my, Joe Zagacki, 4. The Oh my Muster. Unbelievable, 4. Maricon, 3. Boca Burgers have got 3. 3 Maricons and 3 Boca Burgers, and I'll have some potato salad on the side. Caccamoon's got a pair. I has got 2. Get the Honey Junior's only got 1? That's only got 1 vote? Doesn't that, aren't you shocked?
No, it's got a lot of competition.
Honey Junior.
What?
It's got a lot of competition.
Come on. There's something rotten in Denmark with that. Thanks for calling 1. Bagel Bites finally got 1. Oh my God, 1. And 1 for It Is So Hard. It's Friday, you bastards. Were you fudge packing? All right, Mad Dog, and the rest of them don't have any yet. But we're just getting going now. You catch my drift?
I follow. You know, speaking of this thing in the Mandage keychain and the impending fundraiser and everything.
Yes.
Already, since we were talking about, what we're doing, already people are talking about which keychain, if we're going to do a keychain. And
well, haven't we already discussed this? Because I'm sure I know exactly where you're going.
Right.
Hasn't he already said
no?
Yeah, but
In fact, I don't think he was the one that said no. I think that somebody nixed it before it actually got back to Mo.
Right, that's what I'm getting at.
I think that now maybe that he and I are so tight.
Right.
Those are boss.
I think maybe he might just lighten up a little bit.
I think it would be criminal if we did a keychain and it wasn't that.
Especially since we're going to raise money for charity again for one of the doggy charities again.
Who could have a problem with that?
And especially since he's a dog lover. He's got a dog.
Right.
And he's got that doggy hairpiece. What do you say, Mo?
Those are boss.
Come on. Huh?
I think we should work on that.
Come on, Mo. Won't you consider?
Yes, a boss.
Okay, see, there you go. Is it going to be yes, a boss?
Oh, what a softie.
5670560 pound. Well, you talk to the powers that be, but they're scared of him. They're scared. I can understand why, but they're afraid, they're terrified. It's for charity, Mo. I know you go along with it. We would do the same for him.
Sure.
Wouldn't we? Would we do the same for him? We do something for him.
Absolutely.
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yo, what's up with your gun to push booker? Whatever that guy says, that cracks me up every time I hear it.
Yeah, I'm not really. Let me just play it and see exactly what he does say, because I think he says gangster. Here, wait a minute, if I can find it.
Yo, man, what's up with your gun from a booker?
Excellent. Thank you,
And
sir.
hey, I like the Charlton Heston, you son of a bitch.
Okay, thanks. Poor Chuck. Poor Charlton Heston. He's shot. Actually, it's interesting because it says whoever put this in here, gangsta mishpacha, right? Which is how it's always easy to find because I know how it's spelled in there, but gangsta.
Yo, man, what's up with your gun from a booker?
So obviously that was put in there by Goyam. 10:56 at 560 QAM.
This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's Friday, you bastard.
Okay, coming up on 11 o'clock at 560 WQAM. I sure hope. Now, did you tell Dave that I put him on hold or not?
No.
See what I mean? Beaner boy, he's like totally out to lunch. You there, Dave?
I am.
Thank goodness. See, I knew that he'd be patient enough because I have no technical way of picking it up and talking to you, and our board ops are paid too little to actually talk to the people on the phone, so you knew I was here. Anyway, I got a winner for you this year, Dave.
Who is it?
I have the winner. Well, don't say who is it, and we're going to put you on the spot first. I am not picking the chalk. I'm through with that game. By the way, for the audience, this is the voice of the Kentucky Derby since Regret won it. Wasn't it 1915?
There's a rumor that I was here for the first one in 1875. That is not true.
No, that wasn't you. That was Mo Howard Davidson, who used to watch Ty Cobb playing as a little child. He enjoyed that so much. Anyway, I'll tell you who I like. Indian Express, the Bob Baffert horse ridden by Tyler Bays.
I'd pick that.
I'm going to use that horse in my exactas. I think he could go right to the front and never look back. But I think he might get caught, though.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like Empire Maker. I think he hasn't run his best race yet. So I think the best is yet to come for that horse.
Taking the easy route out again, Dave. Taking the chalk 6-5 in the morning line.
I didn't, Arazi was the biggest favorite so before this horse. And I'm telling you, this horse might even win the Triple Crown.
Out of the 12th hole and a big field?
Well, let's see.
Let's see. I got a great column here from the Boston Globe this morning because I did a little bit of my homework.
Yeah.
And it's all about this horse, Indian Express. It says Express appears on a fast track, and it tells the story about how Lafitte Pincard Jr. picked the horse out and turned Bob Baffert onto him.
This
and
is
bought him
the
for one of his
wildest
owners.
story. I mean, this is the wildest story, Indian Express. There are 30,000 foals a year registered. And in 2000, there were only 106 registered from the state of Utah. I mean, this horse grew up on a tough ranch with rattlesnakes and coyotes and things. He's a tough mother, I'm telling you.
I sure hope he's got a better disposition than Dick Cheney.
You know who the owner is?
Who is the owner, George?
Phil Chess of Chess Records. Ken
Oh, that's right. The head of Chess Records is the owner of the house. That's right, because it's in the story.
He's 81 years old, and he loves to bet.
Well, who the hell doesn't?
Let's hope we make it to 81, Neil.
And, of course, listen, you and I will be doing these things for 30, 40 years. Make no mistake about it.
Well, I'm
30, man.
I've rediscovered radio, so, boy, am I happy.
What do you mean by that? Oh, I see.
I'm on the radio.
I understand that. So am I. Of course, I was always on the radio and used to be on TV, so one of us is moving in the wrong direction. But when you got that kind of cash, Dave, what difference does it make? Just laugh all the way to the bank. And not only that, but you probably still have that you could probably, as an heirloom, get that old Howard Cosell hairpiece. Get that out of the mothballs. Huh? I was thinking about this yesterday. You know, we all have our cross to bear in life. I've got Mo Howard David, and you had Howard Cosell.
I had Howard Cosell. Boy, he was tough.
We've all got one Howard in our life, one too many. So you're sticking with Empire Maker, Jerry Bailey.
Right through the Triple Crown. He's going to win it all.
Really? Oh, we've heard this from you before.
When?
About every year. Every year we have the same conversation. We could put it on tape. And I usually get sucked into doing the same thing. But not this year. Indian Express, ridden by 20-year-old Tyler Bays.
He's 18.
It says in my story he's 20. He's 18?
He's 18. You sure you still want him?
It says ridden by Tyler Bays, a 20-year-old who's not... Yeah, no, I'm not touching that line. Ridden by Tyler Bays, a 20-year-old who's never ridden in the Kentucky Derby. Now, is he the son of Russell Bays?
No, I think he's a cousin of Gary Bays.
I see. But
that's a racing family, a lot of history, California.
Evidently, a lot of bases out there on the West Coast. Okay, well, we're going to write these down, and we'll do the same thing and bet an imaginary $50,000 to win on each one, and we'll see who comes out ahead at the end of the Triple Crown.
Very good. All right.
Have you run into our close personal friend Hank out there yet?
I saw him, but we had a bowl of soup together yesterday, and you know, this is just so much fun to come to the Derby and talk horses with Hank. So yeah, and we talked about you.
I knew my ears were burning.
Those ratings are enormous. I'm glad to hear it.
Well, everybody's got to have something big in their life. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
Okay, listen. In Toronto?
I beg your pardon?
Are you still in Toronto?
I'm in Toronto. I'm disease-free. Everything is great here. Tell everybody, you know, to come on up. No problem here. Everybody's happy. Nobody running around with masks. Everything is great.
That's great.
And believe me, we need the cash. I'll see you at Woodbine, Dave.
Okay, good luck.
Talk to you for the Preakness. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Dave Johnson, great guy, great race caller. Indian Express. And so you had picked the same thing, huh?
Yeah, based on that, because Ken was telling me about that. I was having him help me. And he told me
Ken Malden?
Right, Ken Malden.
How's Ken doing?
He's doing great. Slap happy pappy.
Take care of yourself, Ken. Watch your back in that place. Ken Malden, he's a survivor. You know, there's some people who are survivors, then there are other people like, you know, fall by the wayside. Not us. Me and Dave Johnson and Ken Malden, survivors. Do you believe me? No. 5670560. Don't let me forget. I'm going to read that article. I'm looking at the faxes that came over here. Let's see. The Schmidtmeister may be getting fired for posting the topless Zeta Jones pictures on his website. Topless while smoking... What does that say?
Pregard.
Topless while smoking Pregard. The letters are... TheSmokingGun.com has the paperwork filed by his lawyer against a Cheap Channel.
More importantly, what's his website so I can see those pictures?
I don't know. We want the website immediately, if not sooner. So, Billy in Boca, please fax again. Inquiry minds want to take a look at those pictures. What is it? Topless.com? And speaking of topless and clueless, Screw-Ann has a memo now. I'm excited to announce the hiring of Curtis Raymond as the new sports sales manager of WQAM. Welcome to the family, Curtis, whoever the hell you are. Okay, another. Curtis will oversee. I love the way she's got two separate words, oversee. This is our sales manager, okay, boys and girls, she can't spell. Curtis will oversee all sponsorship sales of the Dolphins, Panthers, Marlins, and Canes. Curtis comes to WQM after 10 years at Infinity Sports Boston as sales manager for the New England Patriots and Boston Bruins radio networks. Oh, this guy won't last long. You think he's going to stick around after 10 years in Boston? No. He's going to stick around her very long?
No.
And he probably don't even know about
Roy
and that stuff. And about her being plastered at that Dolphin thing. Or was it the Marlin? Whatever it was, at PP Park. Please join me in welcoming Curtis to the QM family, says Screw-Ann. Welcome, Curtis.
Welcome.
Whoever the hell you are. That is amazing. It's just like a revolving door we got there in sales. In and out and in and out, which of course is Screw-Ann's specialty. In and out. Should I read this article again now?
Please.
I mean, I'm sure we'll have some more additions for the poll, but we talked to Dave Johnson. We got our picks in for the Derby. He's there with the humper. I'm glad he said I had a bowl of soup with that. You notice that? Hank probably told him to say that. Because we got to keep Hank alive. He has really been right on the edge.
He didn't say what kind of soup, though. It might have been a cheese onion soup.
So what's wrong with that? That's still okay. You're not going to get fat from eating a bowl of soup. Believe you me. It's all the accoutrements that go with it.
Crackers.
Don't eat no crackers. Crackers are for... Go ahead. Derek Z. Jackson in the Boston Globe. See, everything comes back to Boston. Jerry Williams just died. We got Curtis Raymond, our new sports sales manager, from Boston, or at least he worked there for 10 years. And this article from the Boston Globe. As we're trying to present another picture to you while the endless media pep rally goes on, all the people with the pom-poms out there, that's what it is. It's an endless pep rally. It's all spin all day. All good news, man. Everything, da-da-da-da. Oh, we got to play that again. What is that, Stars and Stripes?
Yeah, it should be in yours, too.
Is it in mine?
I think so.
Oh, I never knew that. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Okay. Defense CEOs are big winners of Iraq war is this article. I'll try to read it even better than I read it yesterday, which won't take much. More than 130 American soldiers died in a dubious war in a dusty, oil-rich land. In dust-free boardrooms, the CEOs behind our bombs, missiles, tanks, and planes went to corporate heaven. On the dust, 12 teenagers paid the ultimate sacrifice. In the boardroom, men in their 50s and 60s filled their sacks with cash. 12 soldiers will never see 20. At least 13 weapons executives took home more than $20 million in compensation since 2000. The young paid dearly. Middle-aged and graying CEOs were dearly paid. Neither the clouds of dust nor the closed doors of the boardroom can hide the bankruptcy. The Boston-based watchdog group United for a Fair Economy, known in general for its reports on the vast pay gap between CEOs and workers, this week published a report on the even more insane gap between soldiers and weapons CEOs. Using federal, corporate, and think tank data, the group found that while the average Army private in Iraq earns about $20,000 a year, the average CEO among the 37 largest publicly traded defense contractors made 577 times more money in 2000, $11.3 million, and that's the average. Since 2000, the 37 defense contractors CEOs, actually given our first strike war, it is more appropriate to refer to them as offense contractors, have taken home $1.35 billion. That may not be Bill Gates, but it still means that just 37 men have made enough money in the last 3 years to, for instance, pay for 2 years of running the Boston public schools. Meanwhile, everyone knows how the budget cuts have turned public school systems into their own little Bagdads because our governments say there's no more money after war, tax cuts, corporate giveaways, and sports stadiums. In a less predatory America, it would be rude to brag about financial winners as a result of the terrorist attacks of 9/11, 2001, and the attack on Iraq. Yet between Homeland Security, Afghanistan, destroying Iraq, and rebuilding Iraq, it was hard to tell whether offense contractors were patriotic eagles or pouncing vultures. Sacrifice? Not when the $11.3 million average pay of offense industry executives is nearly $4 million a year more than the average for the largest 365 companies surveyed by Businessweek. CEO pay at Lockheed Martin went up from $5.8 million in 2000 to $25.3 million in 2002. It went up at General Dynamics Tanks and Submarines from $5.7 million in 2001 to $15.2 million in 2002. It went up at Honeywell Aircraft from $12.9 to $45 million in 2002. It went up at Northrop Grumman from $7.3 to $9.2 million in 2002. Pay went up at Alliant Bullets and Bombs from $1.4 million in 2000 to $10.5 million in 2002. It went up at Cardinal Health Medical Supplies from $2.9 million in 2001 to $17.7 million in 2002. It went up at United Defense Industries Guns and Cannons from $794,000 in 2000 to $2.7 million in 2002. At Raytheon Missiles and Bombs, it went from $8 million in 2000 down to $2.6 million in 2001 and back up to $8.9 million in 2002. In a radio address in May 1940 during the defense build-up prior to U.S. entry into WW II, President Roosevelt said, "Our present emergency and a common sense of decency make it imperative that no new group of war millionaires shall come into being in this nation as a result of the struggles abroad. The American people will not relish the idea of any American citizen growing rich and fat in an emergency of blood and slaughter and human suffering." In the same speech, Roosevelt also said, "We must make sure in all that we do that there be no breakdown or cancellation of any of the great social gains which we made in these past years. We've carried on an offensive on a broad front against social and economic inequalities and abuses which had made our society weak. That offensive should not now be broken down by the pinchers movement of those who would use the present needs of physical military defense to destroy it." 6 decades later, war millionaires run the country, whether that be Vice President Dick Cheney's old connections to Halliburton for the $13.6 million at Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, Raytheon, and United Technologies have given in political contributions since 2000. Military spending, after falling from $320 billion in 91 to $266 billion in 96, has soared to the $400 billion level. As the war millionaires soar, using the majestic patriotic masks of eagles to disguise the ugly vulture waiting for a handout, the U.S. is creating a new definition of friendly fire for the budget broadsides in schools, healthcare, and city and state services of every kind. 63 years after Roosevelt's speech, a new group of war millionaires came into being both as a result of America's struggles abroad and its abandonment of the struggle at home. There you go. It was worth rereading. And you notice what a much better reading it was?
Yes, much.
In fact, maybe I'll read it again Monday. You can imagine how good that'll be. 12 minutes past 11 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you about something really good. Although Skippy is, I'm a little worried about Skippy. You know, I haven't got my Oleomed in the mail yet.
Yeah.
And I'm getting really nervous about him because I'm almost out. I'm almost completely dry. Oleomed soft gels are an exciting product you want to keep a lot handy because they're good for you. Oleomed soft gels contain the best olive oil you'll find on the planet. Not just ordinary olive oil, but super concentrated, loaded with all kinds of good stuff, health benefits for you. Oleomed every day can help reduce the risk of heart disease and high cholesterol, plus there are 14 different Oleomed formulas from which to choose, each one combining pharmaceutical-grade olive oil with vitamins, minerals, herbals to support specific needs, from bones to blood pressure to your immune system. All you have to do is pick out the formulas that are right for what you're looking for. And now there are 3 new Oleomed formulas, one to help you sleep, one to help you control that disgusting weight, and Cell Q10 for your heart. Pick some Oleomed up today. It's all over town now. It's Publix, Eckerd's, Walgreens, Whole Food Markets, Navarro's, Sedano's. Order it online if you like at OleomedAmerica.com. If you want more information on their sensational products, call them toll-free at 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-653-6633. Start feeling better right away and getting healthier with some Oleomed in your puss today.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I have no life.
I have no cavities. I have no teeth.
Bye, bye, bye!
You son of a bitch.
I have no life.
I went to the sausage party. I was invited by the priest. He said, come with me. I have some friends to see back in the rectory. When we got to the sausage party, there were some other priests in the buff. Then he dropped his pants and said, be a good lad. Your face I wanna stuff. And I realize now I didn't do very well. You see, 'cause the priest couldn't get off, so he had to please himself. Then the priest at the sausage party said, have faith, son, try it again.
Shoot them in the leg.
And he took my hand and he said, let me help you try to understand. He said, there's something I must remind you before you give it another chance. The holy men who wrote the Bible weren't wearing any pants. Now I'm all right now. I can do that very well.
I pooped my pants.
Good that I can please anyone and I won't go to hell.
God, there's so many of these. 11:18 at 560 WQAM. Charlton Heston, Rob in Pompano Beach. We got that on there now. You son of a bitch. Charlton Heston got it?
Got it.
Shoot them in the leg?
Got it.
I pooped my pants?
Okay. Maybe you did.
I pooped my pants. Huh?
Right.
Been there, done that. How about, Tammy, one of my favorites, and especially now is so appropriate.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
Huh?
Okay.
Like it. In case you're tuning in midstream, wonder what the hell we're talking about, our poll question today, what's your favorite expression or product you got from the Neil Rogers Show? Got it? We got it. I do like
it. The media is sick and needs help badly.
And then somebody, it's a Mo one. I thought they'd probably like this. If there's a but.
If there's a but, I smell it.
I think that deserves to be on there. What about Sally Fitz? Huh?
Yeah, if the Sally Fitz.
I realize I'm asking for an awful lot here, and of course I have no idea what's eventually going to show. How about Harry Carey?
Hey, Neil, fuck you.
Huh? No?
Nah. He has
and
better
certainly, what about...
Pissed off gets me fired up when I hear someone say that.
Oh. And then Peter, who sent us this lengthy list, says I voted for...
Top 30, man.
Which he says is the best. And I tend to agree. I think I voted for that. What'd you vote for? Oh, that's right. That was your choice. This story, I think we ought to put it on the website, but we'll save it for tomorrow. Okay, Beaner Boy?
Sure.
Well, you already got enough to handle there.
No.
April 11th coup d'etat linked to U.S. President George W. Bush Dirty Wars team. This is something somebody faxed in this morning from a great website, vheadline.com. A Venezuelan related this story. London's Observer newspaper says the April 11th coup d'etat against the democratically elected government of President Hugo Chavez Frias has been linked to U.S. President George W. Bush's team. Specialists in the dirty wars of the 80s encouraged the plotters who tried to topple President Chavez, writes Observer Worldview correspondent Ed Voliami from New York. The Observer has established that the failed coup in Venezuela was closely tied to senior officials of the U.S. government. They have long histories in the dirty wars of the 80s and links to death squads working in Central America at that time. Oh, this sounds like that thing about Guatemala I was talking about just the other day.
See?
Remember that? I did see it. So that'll be on the website tomorrow. We got to hold something back. But speaking anyway of that sausage party, the reason I played that is we got a couple of other stories that were faxed in. Not that we're looking for these, but they seem to be popping up. These priest stories just seem to be popping up all over the place, if I can say that. Toledo. A Roman Catholic priest and high school religion teacher was charged with possessing child pornography. The Reverend Stephen G. Rogers, no relation, 54, has been on leave since U.S. Customs Service investigators searched his Toledo home in December. The single count was filed Wednesday of this week in U.S. District Court under a legal procedure that does not require a grand jury investigation. If convicted, the maximum sentence is 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. The priest did not wish to comment, said his attorney. Rogers recently completed a residential therapy program, and the Diocese of Toledo is cooperating with the investigation. He continues to be on leave until this whole issue, that's spelled with a W-H. This whole issue is resolved, Billion said. He's not in the active ministry. Rogers subscribed to a child pornography website from December 23, 1998 to June 27, 2001. The Sandusky native was ordained in June 1995 and previously served as an associate pastor, well, it goes on in Toledo. How do you like that? Another one of those perv priests. And Los Angeles. Prosecutors filed 5 more felony sex abuse charges against a former Roman Catholic priest after a former altar boy came forward to say the cleric molested him at least 168 times before he turned 18. But
where do you get that number?
Huh?
There's no fact in the church.
He must have been keeping track. He must have been keeping track of every
word on the wall, hash marks.
Yeah, that might be it.
There's no fact in the church.
Michael Stephen Baker, 55, now faces a total of 34 felony charges. He's already scheduled to stand trial on 13 counts of lewd acts upon a child under age 14 and 16 counts of oral copulation with a minor. He must have been in that Kunst organization, Oral is Moral. Baker was pleaded innocent. The new counts stem from testimony during a preliminary hearing by alleged victim Matthew Severson, 35, who said he was repeatedly abused by Baker in church rectories. He said the abuse began when he was 7 or 8 years old. Baker declined to comment Wednesday. His arraignment was postponed till May 20th, so his lawyer, Donald Steyer, can review the preliminary hearing transcript. Steyer said it was unlikely a jury would be swayed by the 5 new charges. Okay. I just mentioned that in passing. And for those who like him young, in the Sun Sentinel today, 2 Lake Worth women charged with having sex parties with young boys.
All right.
Lake Worth, an elementary school employee and a Girl Scout worker, I wonder if she was selling them cookies.
Yeah, Thin Mints.
In fact, that would be a possibility for the... Oh, and Jennifer Rem deserves. How about...
Can't beat that gator meat.
Huh?
Right.
You don't think?
Sure.
I mean, that doesn't fit this story. This story is more like...
Want a lollipop, little boy?
But I think Jennifer Rem definitely belongs on our survey today with...
Can't beat that gator meat.
Lake Worth, an elementary school employee and a Girl Scout worker, provided alcohol, watched adult movies, and had sex with minors at parties they hosted, while one woman's husband was at work, authorities said yesterday. Amy Duane, a data entry processor at Discovery Key Elementary School west of Lake Worth, was arrested Wednesday and charged with lewd acts on a child under 16 and providing alcohol to persons under the age of 21. Allegations of the escapade surfaced after sheriff's officials learned that Duane, 37, and Favre hosted several parties over a 4-month period at Duane's home. Authorities said the women provided Bacardi rum, Smirnoff vodka, and beer to the boys ages 12 to 14 under the condition they abided by Amy's rule. She was concerned they wouldn't get too drunk, Sheriff spokesman Paul Miller said of the rule. At one of their parties in March, Dwayne watched a pay-per-view movie with a 13-year-old, seduced him, had intercourse with him, officials said. Another time, Favre had sex with a 16-year-old. It's shocking. No question about it, Miller said. This is pretty serious, very unusual. I'm not saying it hasn't happened before. Oh, no Schmidt. Dwayne was released from county jail Wednesday on $15,000 bond. A judge ordered the mother of 3 not to have any contact with the victims and have only supervised contact with her own children. She even got her a dresser in Lake Worth. She'll be reassigned from her $18,000 a year job, a routine procedure, pending the outcome of the investigation, said her principal, Stephen Sills. Not Stills. Stephen, got it?
Got it.
Favre worked in a registration capacity for the Girl Scouts, authorities said. Neither woman supervised children in the job. None of the boys involved attended discovery, officials said. Dwayne's husband, a firefighter, is not suspected of taking part in the activities. According to the investigation, he wasn't aware of this. He didn't know anything. I think he was at work at the time, and he was just devastated, it says in the Sun Sentinel. He was devastated. 26 after 11 at 560 WQAM. Now, that's kind of surprising to me. Look what's leading the pack so far. What's your favorite expression of product from this show over the years? I thought
About 30, man.
would be number 1, but it's number 2. As number 1, with a pretty good cushion now, 65 to 53 is...
Absolutely correct, sir.
How do you like that? Huh. Aren't you surprised? No fags in the church, 33. It puts the lotion in the basket, 31. You're gay, 28. The famous Reverend Jones with the bad baseball cap. I'm dying over here, 27. Managed keychain, 23. Doi, 22. I'm getting better at that. Rectum, 19. Oi, 18. Eisner, 17. That's the American F and Weight, 15. Fish food, 13. Unbelievable, 9. And has only got 8, George. That's yours.
Sorry.
It's only got 8. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. There's probably only 8 people ate at, the finest restaurant in town in 1 hour, while thousands ate at McDonald's. Look at it that way.
All right.
It's called rationalizing. 11:27 at 560 WQM. The Panthers and the Heat are well done for the season. Stick a fork in them, and so is college basketball. And the Dolphins don't get started for another 3 months in spite of all the football talk here on this station. But there is some action going on every night and every day. 7 days a week, you got simulcasting at Pompano Park, and 3 nights a week, every Wednesday, Friday like tonight, and Saturday, you have live harness racing. Outstanding. First race post time 7:15 p.m. Free general parking and free admission as well. What's not to like? Come out to Pompano Park, enjoy the thrill of a night of great horse racing action, and don't forget, since we were talking to Dave Johnson just only moments ago, that tomorrow's the Kentucky Derby, and Pompano Park, as they do every year, will feature simulcasting of the Run for the Roses, the 129th Kentucky Derby. Plunge your guts out on, what was that horse? Indian Express. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
In fact, if I were you, I'd be out at Pompano Park tonight. Because early bird wagering starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can watch, wager, and join the crowds tomorrow for the Kentucky Derby from Churchill Downs at Pompano Park. But let me say it again. You can advance wager, early bird wagering on the Derby starting at 1 this afternoon at Pompano Park. So right after the show, you can drive on up there with Wiener Boy.
Okay.
And he can bet a few cents on it. Don't forget there every Wednesday at Pompano Park is dollar night for draft beer, hot dogs, sodas, and more. And like I said, every day, 7 days a week, you got simulcasting, you got harness racing, highlight thoroughbred racing from all over North America from noon till the wee hours of the morning. Pompano Park, don't forget a live racing card, 7:15 tonight, a block South Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Tarnished with the sewer of this place. Did you see our ratings for the last book?
Yeah, I know whose fault that is.
Sure. Couldn't possibly be us. Watch your back, or you won't wait for more. No. Watch your back, or you won't wait for more. No more. I got enough I gotta think about on top of getting raped, and I don't need a rating that's a -8.
Don't care what you do, long as it's understood. You gotta work a little harder on the guest you book.
Or else you got to go. There's a lot of fat producers, you know.
That's right.
Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No more. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No more. Oh, brother, all that blubber I don't understand. How you can eat from a trough while using both hands.
You big fat pet, you made our ratings full. You're just like Clinton, it's all your fault.
Better straighten your fat ass out.
Or we'll take the food out of your mouth.
That's right. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No more. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No more.
Listen what we say!
Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No more. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more no more. You know who I am? You're lucky you got a job here. Try that one more time and you're all fired.
There's that guilty sound, yeah. 11:32 at 560 WQM. This is pretty interesting. From Swiss Info. Donald Rumsfeld, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, was on the board of technology giant ABB when it won a deal to supply North Korea with 2 nuclear power plants. It's on our website today, this story, if you want to read the whole thing. Weapons experts say waste material from the 2 reactors could be used for so-called dirty bombs. The Swiss-based ABB on Friday told Swiss Info that Rumsfeld was involved with the company in early 2000 when it netted a $200 million contract with Pyongyang. The ABB contract was to deliver equipment and services for 2 nuclear power stations at Kumho on North Korea's east coast. Rumsfeld, who's one of the Bush administration's most strident hardliners on North Korea, was a member of ABB's board between 1990 and February 2001 when he left to take up his current post. Wolfram Eberhardt, a spokesman for ABB, told Swiss Info that Rumsfeld was at nearly all the board meetings during his decade-long involvement with the company. However, he declined to indicate whether Rumsfeld was made aware of the nuclear contract with North Korea. This is a good question, but I couldn't comment on that because we never disclosed the protocols of the board meetings, Eberhardt said. Maybe this was a discussion point of the board, maybe not. Maybe and maybe not. Huh. Just like maybe Dick Cheney didn't know about Halliburton having all them deals with Saddam in Iraq. Yeah. With that butcher of Baghdad. I just mentioned it in passing. And also, oil firms work for terrorist sponsors challenge giving contracts to Halliburton question. Oil giant Halliburton and their work in countries considered sponsors of terrorism came under fire Wednesday from California Representative the bald-headed Henry Waxman, who questioned whether the company should receive lucrative government contracts. In a letter to Defense Secretary Donald Hermann Goering Rumsfeld, Waxman said Halliburton Company, subsidiaries and joint ventures had done business in Iran, Iraq, and Libya in spite of U.S. sanctions against those countries. It appears that a company that has performed and apparently continuing to perform work for state sponsors of terrorism is being given a prominent role in the administration's war on terrorism, Waxman wrote. Waxman's letter did not directly accuse Halliburton of breaking the law. Instead, Waxman asked Rumsfeld whether the White House had examined the legality of Halliburton's work in Iraq, Iran, and Libya. He also asked whether the administration plans to do so before awarding Halliburton any more contracts. And you can read the rest of that story on our website today, too. I just mentioned these things in passing, okay? Not that we want to get too heavy-duty, do we? Yeah, sure. Sure we do. Because I hate to break the news to you, Virginia, but life ain't just one long, never-ending pep rally, okay? Give the pom-poms a rest. Here's a good fax from Jason. He says, I voted for about 30, but you left some mandates ones off. For example, and I'll pass them by and we'll see if the list is getting a little bit long, you know? A little bit. Is it? It's long. Well, in fact, even Jason didn't put this.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a million managed drops and they're all great.
I want to bang you in the butt, honey.
Of course.
And then Jason
oh my God, your breasts are beautiful.
But I'll leave it up to you and Beaner Boy, okay? I'm staying out.
That's not even my favorite.
What's your favorite?
If I'm going to suck on something, it's not going to be an oyster.
What about?
Who's going to give Ricky a blow?
Yeah, there's so many, you know. Well, we got the Mandage keychain, even though most of these weren't on it. You know something? Let me say this to you. How about Mandage keychain part 2 if we can't get the most stuff, if we can't get permission from His Highness?
That's a good plan, B.
I think that's an excellent plan, A. A? Although Jason says, P.S., I think a Mo Howard David keychain would sell about 30 million.
About 30, man.
Million.
No question.
Sell a lot, guaranteed. But if we can't get that, we've always got the Mad Dog.
Did he tuck it or did he cock it?
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Here's an excellent fax from Joe, a real butt-licking one, which I always like a little butt-licking. While on my adventures across the... Now, it also pisses me off. You read this, I assume?
Yeah.
While on my adventures across the U.S., I had many occasions to listen to XM radio, satellite radio. I heard such people as Sonny Fox, Dave Graveline, Phil Henry, and a host of others.
Are you sure?
I even heard the Love Doctors from WZZR. They put on a good show, by the way. They never seem to be lacking for callers either. They also happen to be fans of yours. But why aren't you on it? Excellent question, Joe. You have more talent than a lot of them combined, it says. You'd be a sensation on XM. Perhaps, and here I even underlined this because it just pisses me off. Perhaps you need more aggressive representation. Yeah, maybe if I had an agent, a real lawyer who was more interested in, like, really getting me where I should be, making me a contender, instead of, like, worried about his damn how much weed he's going to smoke and about his house for boys and all of that crap. I think he ought to be worried about that, but he's not. He's not going to change. Remember before I was talking about, huh?
A contender instead of a pretender?
That's right. Never going to be a contender, not with Norma Kent at the helm. And by the way, Norma Kent's got the same number as Bill O'Reilly in the South Florida market, a big 0. Says, fire that stiff you have now and hire yourself a real bulldog and get these things done. Says, you may be interested to know that on radioandrecords.com there's an interesting article about Arbitron. Joe, we already know this. They've been doing this for years. It says they're giving minorities more money and incentives than whites to fill out their diaries. Reverse discrimination, ? You be the judge if you get... Well, we already know about that. They've been doing that for years. And the reason being, they say that, they have a more difficult time in getting sufficient minority representation, so as a result they have to have a greater incentive. So instead of $2, they give like $5, or I don't know how much you think it's up to now.
About 30, man.
Well, whatever they're given. So they get a much greater return on the ethnic diaries than they do on the cracker diaries. Remember that movie, The Cracker Diaries?
No.
Neither do I. Sounds like a good title, though.
Let's make it.
Here's an excellent column. See, I don't want to, read all the way to 1 o'clock. It's only 11:38. God, it seems like I've been here forever. But I got a couple of more bedtime stories I definitely want to squeeze in here.
Please.
I'll get to them. What's your favorite expression or product you got from the Neil Rogers Show? Absolutely correct, sirs. Got 71. About 30, 53. No fags in the church, 37. Puts the lotion in the basket, 36. You're gay, 32. And I'm dying over here. You know how many that's got?
About 30, man.
Right. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Man, I've been trying to call for 2.5 hours. I got something that I got my whole family saying. I'm not sure if you like it, but we love it. And it's open wide for Chunky. You can say it to your 2-year-old when you're trying to get him to eat his strained carrots. You can say it to the wife when she's about to, take care of her duties, man. Open wide for Chunky.
I hear Father O'Toole like to say that, too, is what I'm hearing.
I bet he
Okay,
did.
thanks a lot, Pally.
Thank you.
Open wide for Chucky. We're not putting that on there, but didn't I mention that? I think I mentioned it yesterday.
I forgot.
Or maybe it wasn't on the air. 567-0560. Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Afraid. Be very afraid.
Yes. I like it when the guys stop by for a Hummer. Do you remember? When you got that Hummer? New kids on the block really has small Chinese dudes have no. I unzip their flies when the guys stop by for a Hummer. I like guys who start at only 1 inch. It stretches when they make a wish. 'Cause it gets long from my Hummer. Big one, Daddy, stick it in my hand. I gave you a Hummer and it all began. You had the biggest one that I ever did see. It fell to the floor when you tried to pee. When you unzip, I can't help but want it. But it's so big that you just have to flaunt it. You wet my whistle with that big thing, baby. Halfway down my throat, man, it drives me crazy. Now I think about you and it makes me sad. You went away and never came back. I gave you a Hummer and you went back home. Macaulay Culkin was the size of your bone. I fell deep in love when you gave me a beating. Now I'm a little bitch like Alex P. Keaton. When I met you, I knew that you were thick. It really doesn't matter the size of your stick. New kids on the block really have small. Chinese dudes have no. I unzip the flies when the guys stop by for a Hummer.
11:44 at 560 WQM. I should have asked Dave how come the Hummer isn't going to be on today, speaking of him. I guess he's too busy plunging his guts out at Churchill Downs.
Probably.
That's a good reason. Eddie K will be on following the Mad Dog. Mad Dog will be on 1 to 3. Eddie K from Vegas, 3 to 7, on your gambling, on your GA station. Wouldn't that be, let's just change the callers from WQM to WGA, Gamblers Anonymous.
Okay, eh?
Josh Friedman, 7 o'clock for the fat half hour. 7:30, you got Marlins on Drek. Marlins at the Astros, 8:05. And then the Beast after the baseball game till 2 in the morning, ESPN Radio Overnight. The Beast, the unctuous one, the man with a death wish. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, the reason I played that...
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
That drop in?
Mm-hmm.
Want to dedicate that to Miguel and George Corso. Because when I come back, number one, I'm not going to give you any advance warning. Number two, I'm going to run around the halls and breathe on everybody.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I mean, that thing I heard, I still can't get over it. It's so stupid. Just like, I'm trying to remember which paper it was in so I could, like, click out of it here. I think it was in the Sun Sentinel. Or no, it was not in the Sun Sentinel. It was in the Globe, I believe. About some young girl who came with her family to Toronto, and now it's a suspected SARS case. She got a cold, a sore throat, and a cough, and now, what's that SARS? Their family was in Toronto. Is she in a hospital?
No.
Is she, like, deathly ill?
No.
Has anybody else got it?
No.
No. So let me just say this to anybody that comes up here. We want your money badly. City is now making phenomenal deals to entice people to come back after they butchered the reputation of the city. But don't get a cold. Don't get a sniffle. Don't cough on a plane. Don't look at anybody cross-eyed. Don't get a scratchy throat, because right away, it'll be SARS. Just stop and think about what kind of Neanderthal assholes you're dealing with in that building, okay? And this was in a meeting, probably at one of them department head meetings. What do you think?
I have no idea.
Or something like that, because I know Muff was in on it. That's what I'm hearing through the grapevine. Not that we want to get Muff in any trouble, but he's got a solid position now in there.
No.
He's got a real strong contract. You don't have to worry about things like that. WQAM, hello. QAM.
He died?
My phone is ringing. You know what that means? That means my office supplies are downstairs. Isn't that exciting?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have to go get them now, although it'd be interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do that. See, I make the call one day. The next day, I got me another case of fax paper coming. I got me a couple of extra toner cartridges so we don't have the problem like you got, where you have to beg and plead with Joe Rizzoli to come by because the station's too cheap to give us supplies that we need. It's really great. It's like my own little real radio station here, as opposed to QAM.
By the way,
yes,
I heard Mark Morgan on the TV this morning.
You heard Mark Morgan on TV?
Right. He didn't do that.
Really?
Really?
He didn't do the spaz routine? I wonder if I still have that on there.
That's traffic and weather. I'm Mark Morgan on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
He didn't do that?
No shtick. Straight up like a normal person.
Oh, like a normal person, like a real traffic and weather guy. Yeah. As opposed to, that's traffic, I'm spastic Mark Morgan on QAM. You know, it's just, what is there to say? What is there to say? Now, see, if we had any real management, wouldn't you think that one of our people, since we've got about 50 PDs and ops managers and all these intermediate, paper pushers running around, wouldn't you think somebody would say, hey, Mark, if you want to keep doing the traffic on the station, tone it down a little bit, okay? Stop with the melodrama. It's embarrassing.
Boy, you've been out of here a long time.
And I'm curious, how come that Mo, who was so upset with the Beast being unprofessional, what could be more unprofessional than what I just played there, huh? QAM. You know who else used to do that?
Who?
The Big... Oh! Remember that when he used to do updates?
No.
He had a similar kind of a spastic way of doing that, yeah.
Can I make a suggestion for the poll?
And then the Beast started doing that. Remember that? I am the Beast! Well, anyway, let's not talk about the Beast, because he's a overgrown child. He's just a big, chubby child. Go ahead.
Yes, it didn't come out right.
We don't know how to spell that.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Your suggestion is duly noted. And Eric says, quit already, okay? I got 50,000 choices on here. It's going over pretty good, though. We got 504 votes. It's not even noon yet. Not even Nunez. Absolutely. I don't think they're going to catch absolutely correct. I'm going to play that more.
Absolutely correct, sir. Absolutely correct, sir. Absolutely correct, sir.
Yeah. In fact, we might do a whole day of that on Monday.
All right.
What do you say?
I love
and then on Tuesday, I got this thing down to a science now. Tuesday, your favorite fart. Number 3? Number 4? Huh?
I like the one that sounds like a rim shot. I think that's number 7.
That's that one, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Now, what kind of rim shot were you talking? I know you're a basketball fan.
Oh, yeah. Hoops.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Don't forget, did we ever find out why there was no Joe and Mark show last night?
No.
See what I mean? And I'm not going to get upset about it because I'm looking forward to lunch. There's nothing I can do about it. They just don't want to tell us nothing that's going on. We're in the dark. So we'll find out for it, not that anybody cares. You notice all the calls we had saying, gee, where the hell was that Joe and Mark show last night?
Oh, yeah. No.
We were up all night waiting for that thing to come on. And the show, too.
Carlos.
Anyway, Joe's off on his honeymoon this week, but you can join Mark Eisenberg of the Joe and Mark Show at noon to 2. Any minute now he'll be doing his thing. Noon to 2 at the Singular Wireless off the Palmetto and 57th Avenue. Stop by to win prizes and register to win a trip for 2 to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Chicago this summer and a Marlins Skybox party at the Pro. Some pretty damn good prizes. How does he rate to get that?
Don't know.
When every time you guys go out, you get squat. You get crap. Bunch of diddly squat that nobody would take if you threw in a $50 bill in the envelope. But you might try that. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing?
Good.
I agree with you about it's all about oil and big contracts and big corporations running this country. Forget about democracy. I got three expressions. How about estoy estrangulando pollo acá, shocking the chicken, and mama la pinga. And it's big, Nick. It's bigger than both of us.
Okay. What was the last one? Bigger than what? I think he was...
Estoy estrangulando el pollo para acá.
Yeah, I think he was one-dimensional. I think it's the phrase I'm looking for.
You call that a penis?
Yeah. So you want to put that on there or not?
Sure.
Estoy estrangulando el pollo para acá.
Might as well put one Julio one on there for the...
Strangulango. El pollo.
He's choking it, baby. It's gagging over there. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Of course, I once asked Brian Andrews, our former colleague, huh? No, seriously, our former colleague at IOD, I said, what does a choking chicken sound like? And that was his rendering. Clean up your renderings, Brian. And by the way, Adam still ain't interested. WQAM, hello.
What's up, Neil? How's it going?
Yes, sir. Okay.
That website you were looking for the schnitzel thing there. It's called the smokinggun.com.
Oh, that's right.
And I got a couple for you.
Okay.
How about George's favorite? Greg hates you.
What is it?
Greg hates you.
Oh, okay.
And what about
Greg hates you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joe Zagacki sucks.
Couldn't leave that out. Okay, thank you, pal.
All right, Neil, take it easy.
See ya.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Greg hates you.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Greg hates you.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Greg hates you.
And there's a certain rhythm to those two, you know?
Yep.
And they do need to be on there, both of them.
They're on there.
Are they really?
Well, they're gonna be.
Now, since we put Greg on there, we don't want to let Muff feel left out. How about...
Get off this instant.
You don't like that?
Sure. It's our good friend Ken.
Oh, look at this. The Republican Theocracy by Ellen Goodman in the Boston Globe. See how the way this stuff all seems to come back to Boston. Even that little girl that had a cold. She had a sniffle. Oh, she's got SARS. They were in Toronto. I am so nauseous from that. Ellen Goodman says, as a certified flap watcher, I'll look back on the Rick Santorum controversy as the cormorant of its species. See, in the very first sentence, he's got words that we're looking up.
It's cormorant? A big bird. Yeah, it's a big bird.
Oh. It took an enormous amount of energy to achieve a modest liftoff, and then it flopped unceremoniously back into the political ocean. The flapping began after the Pennsylvania senator offered his comments on the Texas sodomy case. If the Supreme Court said that you have the right to consensual sex within your home, then you have the right to bigamy, you have the right to polygamy, you have the right to incest, you have the right to adultery, you have the right to anything. This brought outrage from the usual and unusual suspects. The log cabin Republicans, the masochistic wing of the gay movement, protested. Isn't that a great line?
Oh, God.
You listen to that, Miss Grudge, you silly queen. The log cabin Republicans, the masochistic wing of the gay movement, protested that he was tarnishing homosexuals. Owen Allard, the leader of the breakaway Mormon sect, protested that he was tarnishing polygamists. Meanwhile, the White House kept its lips zipped, except to say that the senator, often described as the original compassionate conservative, was an inclusive man. When the air calmed, many wondered why nostalgia for segregation had taken down the number 1 Republican Senator Trent Lott, while gay trashing had left the number 3 Republican unharmed. But all in all, this was less a flap about homosexuality than about theocracy. Santorum opened another front in the ongoing interscene struggle between what may be described as the Shiite and Sunni wings of the Republican Party, or if you prefer, between Taliban Republicans and suburban Republicans. Let's go back to our friend Rick Santorum. Last year he told a Catholic newspaper that JFK's vow to separate his faith from politics was wrong and has caused much harm in America. Judy Brown of the American Life League said approvingly, Senator Santorum is a very good example of the Catholic who practices his faith 24 hours a day. He doesn't leave it at home when he goes to the orifice. This may have a nice holistic ring to it until you remember that this government was founded on a separation of church and state. And the line has gotten increasingly fuzzy under Bush, too. It's not just prayer meetings in the Attorney General's office. It's not just abstinence-only education and the rather hubristic assertion that God is on our side in battle. It's on the home front, too. A couple of weeks ago, there was a flap that didn't even reach the Santorum altitude. In an article in a Baptist paper titled America's Education Evangelist, Rod Page, the Secretary of Public Education, expressed his preference for college education. All things being equal, I would prefer to have a child in a school where there's a strong appreciation for values, the kind of values that I think are associated with the Christian communities. What would he say to those who disagree with him? I would offer them my prayers, he said. I know this is what's called playing to the base, but the base is awfully basic, even I'm fundamentalist. Remember what Jerry Falwell said after 9/11? I really believe that the pagans and the abortionists and the feminists and the gays and lesbians, all of them who've tried to secularize America, I point the finger in their face and say, you helped this happen. Pat Robertson nodded his head in agreement. Now, fast forward to the list of people who have been nominated to the theocracy, the judiciary. Among those who are dubbed relatively moderate is Bill Pryor, current Alabama Attorney General, nominated to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit. Pryor not only worked with Robertson to defend student-led prayer in school, he also defended a judge who displayed the Ten Commandments in his courthouse. At a public rally, he said, God has chosen through his son Jesus Christ, this time and this place for all Christians, to save our country and save our courts. The same Pryor wrote in an amicus brief in Texas in the sodomy case that might have been dictated by Santorum, except for Pryor's belief that protecting homosexuals would also protect necrophiles. How's the Hunchback of Notre Dame doing? The Taliban or the Suburban? The Republican Party has patched together a coalition of those who want to keep the government out of your pocket and those who want to put the government in your bedroom. But the theocracies are giving them more trouble than the Democrats. What do you say about a law that lets police break into an apartment and arrest two men for having sex with the wrong person? Tally-ho, Taliban. Before the Santorum flap went flat, it rubbed some of the compassion off the conservative. Memo to Rick. A swing voter is not a swinger. Memo to the White House. What happens in the privacy of a home may show up in the privacy of the polling booth.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
I am Frau Iliana Ross-Leitman, and I like scrubbing my smelly gorilla ass with soap made from jewels and listening to the Neil Roque Comunista Hour.
I think my turban is crying. Hotter and hotter, it's burning right through my robe. Push, 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 why you set my country on fire? Every place is flaming, I don't know which way to go. The explosions burn things hotter. The tanks and trucks melt just like butter. It lights up the Baghdad sky, burning mosques. Just a bunch of burning mosques. A bunch of burning mosques. A bunch of burning mosques.
How about one at 560 WQAM? That was a great segue between Ileana and that bit. I like that. Who served in the military from the website awolbush.com? It's on our website today. We certainly don't have time to go down the whole list, but it is interesting looking at the prominent Democrats and the prominent Republicans and to see their distinguished service to our country. For example, prominent Republican Speaker of the House Denny Hastert avoided the draft, didn't serve. Former House Majority Leader Dick Armey avoided the draft, didn't serve. House Majority Leader Tom DeLay avoided the draft, didn't serve. He said so many minority youths had volunteered that there was literally no room for patriotic folks like myself. Oh, my hemorrhoids twitch when I read that. House Majority Whip Roy Blunt did not serve. Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist did not serve. Former Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott avoided the draft, did not serve. But sure, I waved a mean pom-pom. Too bad he's not around now that we got these pep rallies going on all the time. I mean, he's still in the Senate, but he's not cheerleading at the top. Secretary of Defense Don Rumsfeld served in the U.S. Navy 54 to 47 as an aviator and flight instructor, served as Reagan's special envoy to the Middle East, and met with Saddam Hussein twice in 83 and 84. George W. Bush decided that a 6-year National Guard commitment really meant 4 years, still says that he's been to war. Huh? It says? Question mark. Vice President Cheney, several deferments, the last by marriage, in his own words, had other priorities than military service. Oh, Do you ever hear that as an excuse?
Sure, I'm busy.
Yeah, I got other priorities. I got other fish to fry. Get lost. Attorney General John Ashcroft did not serve, sought deferment to teach business ed at Southwest Missouri State. Jeb Bush, governor of Florida, did not serve. Although he signs a mean bill to increase those local phone bills. Well, we'll get to that. Karl Rove avoided the draft, didn't serve, too busy being a Republican, it says. Former Speaker Newt Gingrich avoided the draft, didn't serve. Former President Reagan, due to poor eyesight, served in a non-combat role making movies for the Army in Southern California during WW2. He later seems to have confused his role as an actor playing a tail gunner with the real thing. B-1 Bob Dornan avoided Korean War combat duty by enrolling in college acting classes, enlisted only after the fighting was over in Korea. Phil Graham avoided the draft, did not serve, had 4 student deferments. And then list some Republicans who did serve: distinguished Senator John McCain, Silver Star, Bronze Star, Legion of Merit, Purple Heart, Distinguished Flying Cross. And then it says, why did the Bush campaign smear him so badly? Former Senator Bob Dole, an honorable man who served. In fact, he'd be happy to sign an autograph. Chuck Hagel, 2 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star for Vietnam. And then it's got the prominent Democrats and lists, and amazingly, most of them, Representative Dick Gebhardt served his country in uniform 65 to 71. David Bonnier served his country in uniform 68 to 72. Senator Tom Daschle served his country in uniform 69 to 72. Bob Kerrey, Medal of Honor in Vietnam. Daniel Inouye, Medal of Honor World War II. John Kerry, Silver Star, Bronze Star with combat, and 3 awards of the Purple Heart for his service in combat. Charles Rangel, Bronze Star, Korea, and that goes on and on and on. And this is listed as the full Chicken Hawk database. I understand where that expression came from. Yeah. Unlike, of course, what it used to be.
Right.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Governor Bush sent bill that could lead to the record rate increases for local phone service. Legislation that could lead to record rate increases for local telephone service was passed Thursday by the Florida House, and Governor Jeb Bush says, all right. The governor who vetoed similar. Now, do we have an updated story on this, Beaner Boy? Because I put this on the website. I'd hate to put on something that was outdated. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
As far as I know, no.
Well, I'll look. Because to put on an outdated story would be a no. You know?
No.
Well, kill some time for a second, okay? While I go to the Sun Central website. Okay, that's enough. The governor who vetoed similar legislation just a year ago, 6 months before his re-election, has already indicated he would sign the new version because it gives more authority to the PSC to control rates. The House passed the measure 93-20, the Florida House. The Senate approved the bill Wednesday, 27-12. Consumer groups, including the AARP and Florida Legal Services, have opposed the bill, contending it doesn't guarantee increased competition and would increase rates for those who can least afford it, such as poor and elderly people who make few long-distance calls. How do you like that? Nah, it's still, this is, looks to me like the same, stale story. Florida telephone customers should prepare to open their wallets. Legislators on Thursday gave final approval to the biggest, local phone rate increase in the state's history and sent the measure to the governor, who is expected to sign it. I was thinking maybe there might be an update on there, but that's the update on the Sun Sentinel, okay? He'll sign it because he's not running for re-election right now. Although I understand he's got some devious plans. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. WQAM, hello.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Donald, sorry.
You misdialed? Oh, he misdialed, I'm sorry. How's that possibly misdialed? Do you believe that?
No.
No, he panicked. Went into a total panic. Choke. Who was it?
He choked.
He chucked? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. WQAM, hello.
Hi, I'd like to speak with Neil, please.
Speaking.
Hi, Neil. I'm one of your daily listeners. I called in several months ago, and I just wanted to say last night, I don't know how you felt, but when I watched the president get off...
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of it. I watched 1 second of it.
I know, my husband said I refused to, but when he got off that plane in that uniform, holding that helmet, and, you know, here he was, AWOL, and...
Well, he's trying to make up for that time that he disappeared when he went AWOL.
Exactly. Well, they say this is all going to be for the political convention. But I just want to let you know that I have read every book that you have recommended, from Stupid White Men to The Hunting of the President, Forbidden Truth. And last night, I have been so disheartened with the journalists, and Tom Brokaw especially. But last night, he showed Colin Powell sitting there pointing out the 5 things that they had against Saddam Hussein, and then today, you know, as of last night, none of those things that he presented in front of the UN, nothing has, you know, been presented. So maybe the journalists are coming around, because I think America's waking up.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I know.
I hope you're right, but I don't see that at all. Every time because I try to avoid CNN, MSNBC, and we don't have Fox here, thank goodness. Yeah. But I try to avoid watching them at all because it gets me so depressed. But every time I do go by the channels, all I see is another puff piece and more flag waving and more patriotic rallies and more isn't this wonderful, and here's another ceremony on a White House lawn, and all I hear is a bunch of so-called journalists just sucking up and endorsing all of it.
But the thing is, that's true. But the American people have to begin to see through this. We've got 44 million Americans unemployed. We have 20-something million without health insurance.
Oh, no, I've got bad news for you.
What?
Scott Peterson's new attorney with a big mustache, Mark Garagos, you know, the professional talking head on Larry King with a big mustache?
Right.
He's going to be Scott Peterson's new attorney. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, dear God.
I just turned on CNN to see what they were showing right now since we were talking about it.
Again, I said, Americans, you can wave all those flags and you can do this and that, but when you don't have jobs and you don't have health insurance and schools are closing and veterans aren't getting benefits, we cannot be that stupid. I mean, we cannot be that stupid.
You want to bet?
But anyway, you just keep it up because you were the one. My husband, you know, told me 3 years ago, he said, listen to this man. He's ahead of his time. And because of you, I started
that's the problem.
reading.
I'm ahead of my time. That's why I'm in Canada, because at least up here we're on the same year anyway.
Yeah, well, keep it up and thank you. How are you feeling?
Real good.
Good.
Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.
Okay, bye-bye.
By the way, going back to this list of the chicken hawks, really interesting one that I left out, but I shouldn't gloss over. Colin Powell.
Yes.
What are we to make of Powell? It says, on the one hand, a long career as a military manager. On the other hand, accused of covering up the My Lai massacre in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. Back on that first hand, one of the seemingly sane voices in this administration when it comes to Iraq, or at least he used to be. On the other hand, a clear hypocrite. I'm angry that so many sons of the powerful and well-placed managed to wangle spots in reserve and National Guard units, he said. Oops. And these are the same people he's working for and with and around and about. He's become one of them. Oh, there's the president. There you go. En route to Silicon Valley for economic speech. I knew if I left it on long enough.
What he wants to do.
There's Wolf Blitzkrieg, another ass licker. And, of course, what's his name? Lou Dobbs. Oh, my God. I think Lou is going to have the hair down over the forehead and the mustache tonight.
At airfield near Santa Clara, California. Frank Buckley is aboard the aircraft.
See, you know what? They're so stupid. What they don't understand is because of the success of Fox, they think that Fox... See, like I told you before, it's like Rush Limbaugh.
Right.
Rush Limbaugh. There, you got his big numbers, his great success, and then Bill O'Reilly comes on a radio on a national network, and a year later, he's got zilch. Because Rush Limbaugh's got all those ditto heads. And the same with Fox News. The ditto heads aren't going to turn over to CNN, no matter how right-wing they become. They're not going to turn over to MSNBC, no matter how many Joe Scarboroughs or Michael Savages they put on the air. Follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're just shooting themselves in the feet. That's all they're doing. While depriving the opportunity for a little bit of choice on the airwaves, which is when I'm here and I want the news, I'm tuned into CBC, eh?
The athletes are concerned that this is not a concern. 85% of the venues for the athletes...
I'm watching some real freaking news as opposed to just propaganda and cheerleading and a bunch of assholes who used to be journalists in suits with pom-poms. Kind of embarrassing, you know, when you turn on the network news and they're all standing around like they're at a football game. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Don't let me forget, I want to do this other one story.
Don't forget.
From the LA Times. Media monopolies have muzzled dissent because this last caller, she inspired me to read it. Don't let me forget.
Okay. Don't forget.
Okay. Hey, if you've been thinking about buying a new barbecue or any barbecue accessory, don't forget, you got to go to a great store called Barbecues Galore. Get yourself a head start on the barbecuing season with the perfect grill and accessories, all at the guaranteed lowest prices. Barbecues Galore carries barbecues in every price range, from the top-of-the-line commercial-grade stainless steel grill to the more portable Weber charcoal grill. Their popular 3-burner cook-on has got a big 625 square-inch cooking area and 42,000 BTUs, all for one great low price. You can get it on a hardwood, a steel, or enclosed grill cart for just $399, or upgrade to the sleek black pedestal base for just $439. For all your barbecue needs at the guaranteed lowest prices on the face of the globe, don't forget, shop Barbecues Galore. They're in Plantation on University Drive. That's in the Fountain Shopping Center. Call 954 423-1400. And they also have a location in Coral Springs, 7485 West Sample Road, right at the corner of Sample and Rock Island Roads. Call 954-757-6668. Don't forget, for the biggest selection of barbecues in the country at unbeatable everyday low prices, it's barbecues galore.
We're Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Push back the move!
Don't like all the heartburn. Every time I see that retarded dimwit on my TV. He's President Trump. Republicans muscled in, an inarticulate idiot. I don't know why they would want this guy, but now he's here. We're screwed the next 4 years with President Thumb. Oh, what I give to count votes once more and get who we all voted for. Why did you want this? Lips drumming, stupid heat. Mindless drunk and rich kid. He's even dumber than me. He's President Dumb. You don't care what it took. You got him in by hook or crook. The Christian right knows what's best for you and I, but have no fear. We've got a great leader here. Yes. With President Dumb.
Don't be knocking old W, man. I hear he's a genius with an IQ of
about 30, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Good facts from Dennis in Vero, who says Chevron Texaco reported first quarter earnings yesterday of triple what they were previously. They credit higher gas prices. Why don't they just call it what it is? Price gouging.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Between the oil companies, the defense contractors, the contractors, etc., Iraq is just the Bush administration's version of government cheese. Right on target, Dennis. Yeah, they made all these gigantic prices off of higher, all these profits off of higher gas prices. Huh. Duh. You know, Mo is right about one thing, okay? Because it's become the byword for business in America.
Gang rape is funny.
Right. It must be funny to them because they just never stop.
Yeah, it's a riot.
It's a panic. Here's this article in the L.A. Times by Ian Masters. Yesterday's L.A. Times. Media monopolies have muzzled dissent. It's on our website today. If information is the oxygen of democracy, the United States has just been gassed, not by weapons of mass destruction, but by a weapon of mass distraction. With George W. Bush basking in glorious ratings and Fox News climbing in the ratings, we may be moving toward a coronation instead of a re-election in 2004. It was, after all, Rupert Murdoch's unilateral announcement of Bush as the winner in the early hours of the morning after the undecided 2000 election that led Al Gore to foolishly concede because he and the other networks believed what they saw on Fox television. Now the marriage between a government and its volunteer information ministry has been consecrated by the blessed victory of Operation Iraqi Freedom, the geopolitical equivalent of an O.J. meets Joe Millionaire wrapped in the flag. Totalitarian regimes don't tolerate any distinction between journalism and propaganda, but in most democracies it's unprecedented for the free press to abandon Joseph Pulitzer for the methods of Joseph Goebbels. How did a born-again, family values administration get in bed with a purveyor of misogyny and mayhem, trash and titillation? The common thread for all the public piety has to be the late Lee Atwater, who was friend, mentor, and role model to George W., Karl Rove, and Roger Ailes, the head hound in the Fox pound of junkyard attack dog journalism. This undemocratic confluence of politics and propaganda has long been in the making as corporate media have been increasingly empowered by public influence, input, and interest have been eliminated. The transformation of active citizens into passive consumers was enabled by the FCC under Ronald Reagan's Mark Fowler, who declared the perception of broadcasters as community trustees should be replaced by a view of broadcasters as marketplace participants. Welcome to America, Mr. Murdoch. You can buy the airwaves and who knows, someday the presidency. TV's Fox could not get away with its shameless shilling for the White House if the fairness doctrine were still in place, and radio's Clear Channel monopoly would not be able to impose wall-to-wall Limbaugh, Hannity, and Savage on the public if broadcasters were accountable to public opinion rather than the dictates of plutocrats. How could it be in the land of the free and the home of the brave Americans who are afraid of opinions? Where are the Tom Paines, the Mark Twains, the Menkins, the Ida Tarbells? The set has not gone away. It's just been marginalized by monopolies and relegated to the interstices of the Internet? Exactly. Well, we always got to have one. But the hammer is about to drop on the Internet, too. The head of the FCC, Michael Powell, wants to give away what's left of the store to the broadband, cable, and satellite providers and make them the gatekeepers or toll booths on the information highway. It used to be that the Internet was accessed by a common carrier, the phone company, but as technologies move forward, these new unregulated media monopolies have increasing control over the information pipeline. Without regulation, they have the ability to choose what content they provide. 2 FCC commissioners want to delay this handover and encourage public debate, but the public is largely unaware of what's at stake. Obviously, you can't expect the Limbaughs, O'Reillys, and their bosses, or their president in the White House to give them talking points of preserving diversity of opinion while there's still a tax cut to sell. So speak up, America. It's your country. They're your airwaves. Maybe you can pursue the American dream while you're asleep, but it'll be too late to reclaim your country's freedom when you wake up. Ian Masters, host of Background Briefing on KPFK-FM in Los Angeles. Right on target, baby. And today is May the 2nd. You know what that means, don't you? 30 days from today, 1 month from today?
Yeah.
June the 2nd. Mark it on the calendar. That's the day that the FCC will put the final nail in the coffin of radio. That'll be it. We'll be done. Ba done. As Mickey would say to his close personal friend.
Eisner?
5670560, pound 560. Am I right?
Absolutely correct, sir.
So you just want another excuse to play that. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to Neil about the poll.
Speaking.
Hi, Neil.
How you doing?
Yeah, I wanted to put one in about Hiya, Pally.
Oh, excellent.
I'm surprised that one isn't on there.
Well, that's because George has got it in his... I don't have it in my thing here. You got it, George?
I'm sneezing.
He's got it.
Okay, great. Have a great day.
You too, thanks.
Bye.
I'm waiting.
Hiya, Pally.
Sorry. Oh, it's so shrill. And the new deal now, every morning from his hospital bed, he feels compelled to call Beaner Boy in there. Don't tell me when he calls again anymore, would you please? If you're thinking about getting paid again at any time in the future,
here's a boss.
Don't tell me he's on the phone. And don't discuss with him about beds, about anything. Just forget that he knows me, okay? In fact, if he should call, say, oh, Neil died of SARS in Toronto. You know, that would be a good line. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got a couple favorite ones.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but it's moving.
Right. Now, did we put that on there?
Yes.
It's on there.
Yeah. I'm sorry. How about Sister Mary Catherine? Jesus.
Oh, excellent.
She has a lot of more emotion than Father O'Toole.
Exactly. Okay, thanks.
Neil, also, Johnny Dark's an asshole?
Yes. Oh, you mean the bit. Okay.
Sister Mary Catherine. Jesus.
That's good. I mean, like I said, you can put it on or not, as the case, or...
Johnny Dark's an asshole.
Like I said, we like Johnny Dark. He's a good guy. Just don't come around anymore when I'm there, Johnny. Remember that?
Yeah. That was, kooky.
That was special. Well, I mean, you know, he came by the one day, and he's a good guy, and I remember I turned him on to go into Europe when after he got screwed over by Cox Broadcasting, and they fired his ass off the coast, and they paid him off to go away. And he said, you think I should go to Europe? My whole life, I've never been there. And so I encouraged him to go. I never ran into him in Amsterdam, but nevertheless, when he got back, he gave me the rundown. He loved it. He had the time of his life. Thanked me profusely. And so he came in that one day, and we fed him. We had Ponytail or somebody bring in some lunch, and we fed him. But, you know, Johnny is a good guy, but he's an FM guy. It's 82 along the coast. You know, he doesn't have nothing to say. Yeah. And he didn't have nothing to say.
Johnny Dark.
And then, you know, and he killed some time, and I really do mean killed it. And he was like sucking up to be the sidekick because he was out of work at that time. I hope he's doing well. I like Johnny. In spite of all those trips to, what was that cowboy place you used to hang out in? Doodahs, that's right. Doodah. In fact, you look at Johnny, you kind of think, Doodah. He's a good guy. But then one day, somebody came by. Was it Freaky Carlos from out front?
Yes.
Maybe you just got the message on the phone.
Right.
Johnny Dark is out here. He wants to come in and see Neil in the middle of the show. This was a couple of months later, like I was going to have him in there again to put the audience into a coma. No thanks, Johnny. You're a good guy. We'd be happy to feed you.
Johnny Dark's an asshole.
But don't go away mad. Just go away. Absolutely correct, sir. 78 votes. In fact, it just changed it again. And it still has 78 votes. 63 votes for...
About 30, man.
Puts the lotion in the basket, 43. No fags in the church, 41. Diane over here, 37. You're gay, 37. Doi, 30. How many is it got?
About 30, man.
Eisner, 27. Mandage Keychain, 26. Oi! 22. Nobody says that quite like Mitch Lewis, you know? There's just a certain enthusiasm with which he says it. And he really captures the ambiance, the essence of South Florida and exactly what it is when he says, Oi! And also,
Rectum.
That's the American effing Ways got 20. Rectum. How do you like that?
Rectum.
Psychic again has 20. 20 rectums. You're moving up a little bit there, George. 13. In fact, to show you what good company you're in, it's tied with fish food. Would you like some fish food? Oh, Pat Tornillo steps aside as FBI probes conduct. Oh, jeez. This was in the Herald yesterday. Pat Tornillo, the larger-than-life union chief who built and ran the Miami-Dade Teachers Union, placed himself on indefinite leave Wednesday while federal investigators probe whether he has embezzled dues. I don't want to impede the ability of the United Teachers of Dade to continue to represent teachers and children in Dade County, said Tornillo, interviewed from Tallahassee, where he's been lobbying lawmakers since last month. I don't want any distractions from that. The announcement came a day after the FBI raided the union's headquarters, seizing records about how properties were bought, trips funded, and money distributed to Tornillo and his associates. Tornillo denies any wrongdoing. The United Teachers of Dade will be temporarily overseen by an administrator from the union's national affiliate who will inherit the organization's dire financial situation and a daunting political task of restarting stalled contract negotiations. Is there anything good going on in Dade?
No.
Is there anything like, are there any politicians who can be trusted?
No.
I'm not saying, he deserves his day in court, Pat Tornillo, I don't know one way or the other. But it just seems to be that there's always this taint, this kind of aroma that we can smell all the way up here.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Friday, you bastard. Absolutely correct, sir.
That was great. Bobby Mercer from Madison, Wisconsin. Hell, I didn't even know there was a second verse to that limerick about Nantucket. It pays to stay in school, doesn't it? But anyway, let's bring out our next guest here on America's Most Untalented Kid. All the way from Seattle, Washington, here to sing Let Me Entertain You. Won't you please give a warm welcome to little Dickie Fickernickel. Dickie.
Let me entertain you, and we'll have a real good time. Let me entertain you, and we'll have a real good time.
Okay, Dickie Fickernickel. Dickie, in that little green suit, you look like a pimp leprechaun or something. I don't know. It's just, anyway, Joe, what did you think?
He sucked.
Okay, he sucked. Bill?
I'd say the same thing. He sucked.
Okay, suck number 2. Jerry?
Really, really awful. I would just say plain sucky.
Ooh, Dickie, that's a nice score. Suck, and a sucky. That's good enough to have you qualify for the finals next week.
Oh, I'm psyched. I cannot wait.
All right, good luck to you, Dickie, and we'll catch you next time on America's Most Untalented Kid. Bye-bye, everybody.
12:32, and guess what? During that break, so I'm watching CBC, which I have on during the show every day, and they're like doing news, like real news stories. So because of what that lady was saying in the article I just read, I flipped over to CNN and MSNBC.
Right here makes it worth it.
USS Abraham Lincoln returns, and we got pictures of sailors on there.
Hey, sailor!
Yeah, and Harry Fleischer said, send him a message.
Hey, sailor!
And the wives, and they're hugging their little babies, and then I switch over to MSNBC. And guess what's on MSNBC?
Yeah. Same thing.
Les Houchin. Now, and you are? His girlfriend. His girlfriend. Now, have you spotted him? So what we thought.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, seriously, if there's anybody in this audience or anywhere in the world who really is stupid enough to believe that this is news, and I can understand if this were the variation rather than the norm, if this were the exception.
Right.
then I would say, okay, well, listen, let's put something on there like a feel-good kind of a story, a puff piece. But that's all there is. This is all there is. Non-stop photo opportunities and non-stop pep rallies. That's what the talking heads are involved with, round the clock, 24/7 now.
Maybe.
And she's putting a microphone up there. Are you on MSNBC?
No, I am
She
not.
stuck the microphone in the face of this little kid. He's about 3 years old. What's he going to say? Is he going to, like, make a speech? And he's like any 3-year-old kid. He's, like, looking at her, like, scratching his head, like, what do you do all want, bitch? Yeah, right. Oh, my God. And this is going on non-stop, round the clock.
Home to Arizona.
What was it like when you first
Another
presented
young couple,
Tatum to
sailor with his
Travis?
wife and young baby.
I couldn't stop shaking. I was very excited, very happy.
What did you say to him?
Oh. I just mentioned these things in passing, okay? I mean, wouldn't it be just like a little bit of balance, a little bit of truth, a little bit of really what's going on, and the fact that the electricity is still out in most of Baghdad, and that there are continuing all the stuff going on. Now, we don't want to tell you the truth. What we want to do is goose step along because we want to be willing co-participants in this whatever the hell this exercise is called.
Fascism?
I think that's the word I was looking for. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line.
I'm dying over here.
I have no line.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
Okay. I'll take some calls, okay? Don't get all morbid and depressed about it because it ain't going to change. If you really want to know what's going on in the world, go to the Internet, at least for the time being, until they start dicking with that, too. Go to the Internet, read a whole bunch of stuff. And certainly don't waste your time with the weekly readers, the newspaper, the two dailies in South Florida. You won't learn nothing from them. WQAM.
Neil, how's it going?
Okay.
Couple for you. I don't quite know what you call it, but it's a lady going, oh, Neil God, or something like that. You know which one that is?
Sure.
Yeah, that's great. And one is your personal one. Trust me when I tell you.
Okay.
And one other thing, am I still there?
I'm still here. And you're still there.
Yeah, I must be a masochist. You know, I got to admit, I listened to Schmidt yesterday.
You listen to what?
Schmidt.
Oh, Schmidt.
Okay.
I thought you said something else.
Ponderous, man. This whole thing with the president landing on the flight deck and all this. Oh, God, the guy goes into detail. It's beyond belief. It's nuts. And this is newsworthy, what's going on here today. It makes me crazy.
Get out your pom-poms, man.
I know, bro. Take care. Love you.
Hang in there. To be honest with you, I'm sorry, that was that other poll. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, this is a good story. This is kind of cute. Put a little smirk on your puss. Saddam scene in London. We have it on the website. Now, do we have the pictures that go with this or not?
But of course.
Of course. Leave it to Beaner Boy. He doesn't miss a trick, man. That's what they said at Treasure Island. Saddam Hussein appeared to turn up in London today, this was yesterday, as dozens of hopefuls attended auditions to find a lookalike of the former Iraqi dictator. Short, thin, clean-shaven, ginger-haired, and in one case, female candidates, well, it's those British women, you know, who thought they bore a resemblance to Saddam, who's still missing after the war in Iraq, assembled at the Riverside Studios in Hammersmith, England. They were handed army jackets, black berets, and false mustaches, and asked to walk across the stage and wave to an imaginary crowd. Shouts of next filled the auditorium as the Saddam doppelgangers grinned maniacally, gave regal waves, and attempted to strut around the stage despotically. What is a doppelganger?
A shape-shifting creature that copies its victims.
I see. Charlie Shark, 21, a computer support worker from Isleworth, said, a colleague said it would be a good idea to come down. I've had 13 years of jokes at work ever since Saddam invaded Kuwait. The lookalikes are needed for the West End satirical review, Follow My Leader, which is due to open at the end of June. Impresario Raymond Goubet said, we had no idea who was going to turn up today, but I'm pleased to see we've had one or two good examples. And if they run short, they can just go to Baghdad. I'm sure they'll find dozens, whole bunch of lookalikes in Baghdad.
About 30, man.
At least. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. The Mad Dog at 1.
All right.
And then we got $80K for Hank from Vegas at 3. Josh Friedman briefly for a fat half hour, 7 to 7:30. Wouldn't that be a great idea for a show where he could just get off of sports, munch along with Josh? Huh? I think it's a wiener. I think we got a wiener. And just listen to the sounds of, in fact, Josh and the Beast. Right?
Having a feast.
A feast with Josh and the Beast. I think at a 40 share, at least.
About 30, man.
Yeah. As they just sat there, we could have food brought in. Ponytail could bring it in, and just a whole bunch of folks. So, Corky's. Yeah. Yeah. Sure as hell beat talking about that stupid same sports crap every day.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oops. One moment, please. You having a problem there, Beaner Boy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he going to do something, or is that it? Oh.
We're searching. Oh, yeah, we're searching. Oh, Lord, for those weapons of destruction every day. We're gonna keep searching. Ooh, Lord, searching. Have mercy. Searching for the nukes they hid away.
I have no life.
But I don't think we'll ever find them. They weren't there in the first place.
Ay, Papa Juan Pablo.
High and low, from house to house, and under every rug, to validate the spin of all those White House thugs. If you still need convincing, tune in Fox or CNN for another dose of lying from but we'll keep on searching. Ooh, Lord, searching. Keep looking for proof of all the nukes he hid away. But you know they ain't gonna find them.
No.
Ain't never had them anyway.
12:43. This is just insanity. Oh, but the good news is Bush to speak on economy 12:30 on CNN Live. Or 12:50, I'm sorry. So we've only got 7 more minutes to have to endure this naval attack.
Aircraft which also can launch missiles, S-3 Vikings.
Heard that when Ari Fleischer saw these images, he said, "Oh my God, seafood for lunch." That's what I heard. You think I could have misunderstood?
Maybe.
So now you understand why I absolutely refuse to watch any more than necessary CNN, MSNBC, and certainly not Fox Fascist News. And the worst news of all being Mark Garagos. See, you look at all of this and you say to yourself, either I've lost my sanity or I have to do everything I can to escape from all of this.
The second one.
You know what I'm saying?
I was questioning it there for a while.
It's just the same old. It never ends. Mark Garagos and Nancy Grace. And here's Nancy Grace, and here's Mark Garagos. And, of course, our good, close, personal friend Larry will be having his nightly panels. And here's Mark Garagos with that big mustache who was defending Robert Blake, but now he's busy defending Scott Peterson. And what's the use, you know? Well, what is the use? Because the message from the messenger is that we all must be glued 24/7 to this, and this is what we ought to be concerned about. This is what our lives should consist of, is the swill that they're feeding to us. The propaganda, the bullcrap, the photo opportunities.
Thelma Gutierrez is on the shore.
Seriously, Wolf Blitzkrieg, I'd like to break his kneecaps, you know. I hate to say that.
Why?
I would like to,
Why would you hate to say that?
I am enjoying saying it. I'd like to break his kneecaps. Wolf Blitzkrieg. The ultimate shill. I mean, Lou Dobbs, at least he finally came out of the right-wing closet. But this guy who pretends to be a journalist, you know the day that CNN really went down a crapper?
What's that?
The day that when Bernard Shaw retired.
You're right.
Oh, he wouldn't have put up with any of this crap. But nevertheless, maybe for the right price. Now, this fax from Carl in Sedona, Arizona. Do you ask Beaner Boy about this?
No.
Says, I can't find the article on your website you read about 30 minutes ago concerning the profits of several corporations and their role in this war for profit. Can you help me find it? I don't know what story he was talking about. He said,
Yesterday's story.
What is it?
It's yesterday's story, the one that you read yesterday and you reread it today.
Well, but what is the heading on that? Do you know?
I'll find out. Give me a couple seconds.
I'll give you. Don't see. There he goes again. You've got him conditioned to being too pressure packed there. Just relax. Take your time. If you find it great, if not, time's up. Time's up. No, seriously. I mean, just if you find it great, I'm sure that Carl will appreciate it because he's an avid listener on the internet. He says, "Keep up the good work. There are more of us than the goose-stepping media will allow us to know. Love you, Neil. Love you, etc. and so on." Oh yeah. Now that's one. Although we never play that.
Jim?
Probably because it's so embarrassing.
Hi, this is Jim. Love your show, Neil. Love you.
That's
love
Randy.
You.
That's the goddess's husband, or I guess that's what we call him, isn't he?
It's her other.
Her other what?
Yeah,
her other
exactly.
Her other penis?
You know how when there's a list of things to check off at the bottom, there's always other when nothing else applies?
Oh, that would definitely be him.
Yeah, her other.
In fact, when he fills out the thing where it says sex, MF, or other. What is it now?
The title of the article is Defense CEOs are Big Winners of Iraq War.
Right, Defense CEO.
Oh!
Thank you, Beaner Boy. And you can find that on the website if you go to the page from yesterday.
The features page, right.
The features page. Click on the features page on our website, which is really great now because now Beaner Boy's got it by week. I looked at that yesterday for the first time in a while, and that's getting just better and better. If I were somebody, I don't want to mention no names because it is Friday and it's a long weekend. But if I were somebody, I'd be so embarrassed and ashamed and humiliated. The fact that this little punk came in and turned a once barren website into one now that gets routinely over 250,000 hits every day. And I will restate what I said yesterday, and it's got nothing to do with jealousy, although I would like more and more people to see it. But when you look at that sludge report for Miss Sludge on there, and look at all the drudgery that she puts on, and realize that there are millions of people clicking on it, and I still say, look at it again today, beside that huge picture of George W. with that silly outfit on. I flew the plane. Right, yeah, fly away on this. And then you realize he's getting those millions of hits, and there's nothing on there. It's just basically a black and white page, occasionally a color photo, and that's about it. Just a black and white page with about 50,000 links, and that's it. That's a website? Oh, well, you got Bill Schneider on CNN. He better not say something controversial. They'll cut him off.
Will continue to be on the agenda, but he wants to focus now on the economy because Americans are very worried about the economy. He knows what happened to his father.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to happen to him, too. You wait till Bobby Graham, till Beattie Graham. Won't that be great? We'll have our own candidate for governor. That'd be nice.
Wouldn't it?
It would be nice. A man that's got the balls, a man who's been telling it like it is, the real story about the threat of terrorism in America as opposed to all the BS, the bullcrap we've been getting, all the lies, the propaganda. You go, boy. WQAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
I just wanted to tell you, Wolf Blitzer, the biggest phony on the face of the earth. I used to work at CNN back when they actually gathered news.
Right.
One time, just give you a Wolf Blitzer story. I'm at a wedding with him. In mid-sentence, he walks away from me. I mean, he doesn't even leave an effort to even pretend that he's listening to me. And
he's an asshole.
He's from Buffalo. I've never met anyone from Buffalo like Wolf Blitzer. Usually people from Buffalo, at least.
The only Woody Graber is the only person from Buffalo I've ever met in my life who was like a decent human being.
And there you go. Well, say hello to Howie Meeker for me while you're up there.
Okay.
And you have a good day.
And Bill Barocco, too.
Very good.
See ya.
Bye.
And Foster Hewitt and Bill Hewitt. Oh, you know what? See, the whole show is just about past. I'm watching all this propaganda there on Propaganda TV.
We go right back downstate to tell you why.
Tell us why, please.
The South Jersey Pine Barrens are beautiful, yet dark.
Oh, you can tell that the Leaf season is over. They got fishing shows on Leafs TV. Yeah, it's true. The show that's on right now, Maple Leafs America, they show hockey players fishing. I guess they might as well because they're not playing hockey now, at least not the ones who play here. Oh, and there's Churchill Downs. Look at that. There's Hank riding a horse. No audio, though. Damn it, I hate when that happens. There's Hank on a big fat one. WQAM.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'd like to give you a horse for the Kentucky Derby. I think if it comes down to, a street fight at the end, which it will, Buddy Gill will be the one with Gary Stevens. He knows how to get the job done.
Who's number 8 poster right next to Indian Express, by the way.
I know. They slugged it out in the Santa Anita Derby, which I'm sure you saw.
Right.
Okay. Hey, Neil, hold on. Somebody wants to tell you something. Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Papi chulo, I love you, Neil.
Okay, sweetheart.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Indian Express, Kentucky Derby. Now, let's see. Dave Johnson picked the chalk. He picked the favorite, Empire Maker, Jerry Bailey. 6-5 in the morning line, you know. See, now this is probably going to be the favorite finally wins, which rarely happens in the Derby, but I've just been burned so many times. You know, chalk, especially in a big field like that, breaking from the 12 post, not for me. Or now, was it the pole position? Is that what Mo said? Just stop and think, for a guy that's supposed to be doing sports, does he know anything about thoroughbred racing?
No.
Harness racing?
No.
Hockey?
No.
Homos? Well, yeah, that's the only H that I think he knows about. He seems to have like a lot of expertise on that, especially that movie with Fagadorn.
Right.
Did you ever hear that character before we?
No, I never saw that. I still haven't seen the movie.
He infested it, and you don't want to either. Did you see the original La Cajafol?
Sure, ages ago.
The butler, by the way, Jacob. That was his name, Jacob. He was a panic, the black butler. And I keep thinking of that scene where he put on those shoes that were about 14 sizes too small. Oh, that is just choice. Wait a minute, nobody on there. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Happy Friday to you.
Back to you.
Been listening to you since 1990. I'm the guy that, the optical lab tech that works for the Canadian Toronto optometrist.
Right.
I don't know if I listened to your show the first hour this morning. Did you get I Am That Hemorrhoid?
No, that's a good one.
I had some more, but I forgot about them. I've been trying to call you for about a week and a half.
I am that hemorrhoid. I am that hemorrhoid.
Is that the great Joey?
That's the great Joey Reynolds, who said, I am that hemorrhoid. And he also said, I have my nose up Neil's ass.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that one. Calls to show you how long I've been listening. Remember the lady from Boca that time that called you 3 times in one day and you gave her crap on the air for her boss being so nice, letting her stay on hold for 45 minutes to tell you suck?
Really? I don't remember that.
And let me talk to him. Oh, I get it. He's in the back room whacking off after you're done with him. I heard that, and I'm like dying. But that was some lady from Boca. She called like 3 times in one day.
That's what I hear. I hear she was from Boca, and she called 3 times in one day.
Anyway, you were reading about the Seminole Indian gaming last week.
Yeah.
My wife and I go to Tampa a lot, and they have video slots over there. They don't kick out cash like the real slots.
Yeah. No, we want the real slots. We don't want that video crap. We want the real slots, man. We want it now. We want it tomorrow night at Pompano Park.
They're made by IGT. That's who makes the slots too. So.
Yeah. Well, we want them now. In fact, when I get back to town, we're gonna have like a big demonstration and protest. We want our slot machines now. Have a great day, pal, and a great weekend.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Totally correct, sir.
The Middle Eastern world will be exploded. Saddam had people killed with the gas that we sold him. First time aggressor nation and the only one that's going. Now more blood will be spilled to get that oil flowing. Forget 3,000 people killed are now forgotten. Let's exploit them instead. Hey, there's oil to be gotten. Going after Saddam to placate Osama. There's no longer mention of. And all, I'm being complacent, believing every word of this cartel administration that controls us by fear through media manipulation. And the right wing is drilling it over and over into our heads that Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. The loss of civil rights is the price that we're paying. We're all suspects now, Nazi Ashcroft is saying. I have nothing to hide, table talkers all are saying. Blind obedient cattle don't have any reservation. Without unprovoked battle and world annihilation. Old regimes must fall and Halliburton installed with no objection at all. Democrats don't have the balls and the right wing is drilling it over and over into our And Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. Only Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction.
Bye, bye, bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Now it's time to bring in the master.